Hi everyone. As promised, some members have said that I'm going way too quickly through the videos and the entries and exits specifically, and um, that's because, like I said, it's probably because I've been trading this way for a long time, and that's true. Other people have said to me that I do this, um, so I'm going to try and these videos really are just going back to the basics and um, being specific about the entries um, that are valid, if you like. Okay, so first up, here's our sleep zone here where we're sleeping. Okay. Um, Now, the important thing is that the first trade, we're looking for it not to necessarily be a high or a low outside this range, but to be coming from the current day's high or coming from the current day's low. Okay, it's quite important to specify that because let's take I'm going to do Monday and Tuesday on the pound against the dollar. So let's take Monday for an example. Okay, now I start trading on this bar here. Okay, it doesn't really matter when you start trading. Okay, the odds will still play out. Okay, I'm not going to go deeply into that, but for this example, I start on this trade here, and you can see that we are coming from the high of the day. Okay, now there's 3 stages to the first entry type, which is the high-low trade. Okay, and the first stage is 1, we're coming from the high or low of the day. 2, price closes down from the high or obviously up from the low. And then 3, we break out on the next bar. Okay, internet's disconnected there. Okay, so you can see here when I start trading here, all 3 elements are satisfied. 1, we're coming from the current high of the day. 2, prices close down. And 3, here's our breakout entry here. Okay, and then we place our stop over the high. So that's the type 1 entry. If we follow price down, then we can see at this point here, we've made a new low for the day. Okay, that's point 1 of our 3-point entry. Then we've closed up from there. That's point 2. And then point 3 was a breakout of the high here. Okay, we're looking for a breakout of the bar that closes in the direction we're looking to trade. Okay, the high and the low. You can see this one, we satisfy point 1, we're coming from the low of the day. Point 2, we've closed up. Point 3, we didn't get the breakout, so we don't enter on this bar. Okay, just going to move on to actually that was Friday, sorry, so it wasn't even Monday. So this one is Monday. My Wi-Fi's always terrible at this time of night. So okay, here let's look at yesterday. Here's our session where we sleep. Call it the Asian session or whatever you want to call it. Okay, set it for whatever time you want to set it for. Preferably you want it to be the low volume part of the day, and you can clearly see it is the low part of the volume compared to this. This is where more money was being moved around for whatever reason. Okay, so at the start of this day, okay, you see we close up here, but we're not coming from the low of the day. This was the low of the day. Okay, so we're not satisfying part 1 of our trade rules there. Okay, then we move on and we make a new high for the day here. Part 1 satisfied. Then we close down. Part 2 is satisfied, and then we break out. Okay, so this is a valid high trade. Okay, and then price comes all the way down, and here we're making new lows for the days. These are all satisfying part 1, but then here is the only time we get part 2 satisfied. We're coming from the low of the day, price has closed up, and then we look for our breakout trade here. Okay, give your breakout trade a little bit of space. It's just something I do as routine. Okay, and that was the high and low trades on GU. I'm just going to move on again to today. Okay, so here we come, the end of the sleep session. We're not really, well, coming off the high or low. Or, you know, sometimes there's a bit of ambiguity about this very start page. If start bar, if you're very flat, but for me, this was the first trade. We make a new low for the day. 2, price closes up. 3, we break out. Okay, that's a valid long trade. But then straight after, we make a high for the day, price closes down, and we break out. So that is also a valid short trade. Okay, so in this instance, your high and your low trades would be hedged. Okay, like so. When you get these hedges, let them resolve. So wait for price to take one side of this hedge out. And as we can see, price breakdown here, we won more on the short than we lost on the long. Okay, so that's that was today. So that is that's the first type of entry. That's the high and low entry. Okay, so now I'm going to just explain the reverse trade. Okay, so let's imagine let's imagine that we didn't have this long trade here. Let's imagine this was our first trade of the day. So we're coming from a high, price has closed down, and we've broken out and gone short here. Okay, then when you can see here, just a few bars later, price has reversed and closed up. Now this is the reverse trade. When this happens, you can be looking for a breakout here. Okay, so if price does continue with the reverse, the idea is you win more on this than you lost on the short. Okay, let me show you another. Here you can see where we made the high, price closed down and we went short. Then the very next bar closed up, so we'd be looking with a pending long here for a reverse trade. Okay, as it happens, it didn't trigger, price continued short. In both those examples, you were already in a trade. Let's have a look if you weren't in a trade. So let's go back to list day here. Here's our valid high trade here. And let's say we came down, we're making new lows, and we decide to close it here for a profit. Okay, so now we're flat, we haven't got any trades at all. We make a new low for the day, price closes up, doesn't trigger an entry, and then the next bar reverses. This is your reverse trade here, and your stop over the high here. Okay, so you don't have to be in the high or low trade to be able to take the reverse trade. So that's the two basic trades, and I'll do a little bit about the hedging as well. Okay, so in this basic high-low strategy, if we've got a short, say we have this short, and let's say for instance this came a little bit longer here and we had this long here. So now we have a hedge, we have a long from the low of the day and a short from the high of the day. at this point, because you're in profit, you have the option to manage your trade. Okay, so you can take profit on this trade, or you can move the stop to break even, or you can even move the stop here, so if the long does trigger, then you close for a profit and you go long. Okay, with the basic strategy, once you have a hedge with a long and short, don't add any more trades until one of these has either been stopped out or you've taken profit on one of them. So you don't add trades within that hedge as well. Okay, you don't do that. If you're interested in doing that, then you need to look at the stacking video that I posted, which is a slightly riskier way of taking these trades. So that's all I'm going to put on this video for now. Hopefully that's a little bit clearer. If it's not, then leave it in the comments and I'll just keep doing these until you get it. And if you know, you want me to sort of go over a specific day that you find confusing, tell me the pair, tell me the day, and I'll do a video. So that's it for now. I'll do another video tomorrow.